whole Jeopardy, like the whole class?
The whole class is Jeopardy.
Okay.
So anybody who's not here without a valid excuse, it's as if they're here and they answered everything incorrectly. I mean, what else I can do? Beat you guys up? I mean, back when I was a undergraduate student, you kind of expected that kind of treatment. It was frowned upon, but you know, if a professor did something like that, not beat, but you get me wrong, you know, you pissed me off, I threw a chalk to your head, for example. That happened all the time. It never happened to me, but it could have. All right, and let's talk about chapter 8. Where art thou? Let's do our attendance. Brock, Kelly here, Grant here, Laura. Jacob Horn, Howard, Reese here, Mendez, he says he's on his way, he hit traffic. Avery's excused, Emmeline here, Ryan here, Anud here, Madeline, Jackson, just in case, Elizabeth Robinson, no. I don't think among these two students there is only one class of attendance. The other Jacob Strunk, and Katie. All right. I need to check. I have email. Okay, chapter 8 is about kind of the corporate part of corporate finance. It's investment criteria. Basically, how to make decisions for capital investment projects, or generically called capital budgeting. A capital investment project is basically an investment opportunity into a new product, improving an existing product, buying another company, another business. We need to figure out decision rules in deciding to accept, reject such investment projects. We need some desirable properties of investment criteria. We want one, all the cash flows must be taken into account. Time value of money must be taken into account. As for number one, most investment projects bring cash flow to the firm over multiple years. And we're not talking about doing something and getting a return 3 months later. You come up with a new product over the next 5 years. You make predictions about how much cash flow firm will get. That means I need to take into account all the cash flows, not just a few early years or later years. Time value of the money must be taken into account. That's self-explanatory. $100 you get in year 1 is not the same thing as $100 you're going to get in year 5. Riskiness of the project must be taken into account. Not all projects have equal risk. If you come up with a new product, that probably is a lot riskier in terms of cash flows compared to updating an existing product. And you should get an idea about how much value is added to the firm. Turns out there's only one investment criteria that satisfies all of these. You probably are going to ask, why aren't we using just that and don't worry about the rest? And there are some governance reasons why we're not doing that. But let's start with that. Let me get my pen. So I'm going to write some formulas. It's a lot easier using pen. The first one we're going to talk about is net present value. How does that look? Oh, good. It's also known by its abbreviation NPV. For this chapter, we're going to take pretty much a lot of things as given. Somebody has told us that this project is going to cost a certain amount of money. Cost of project equals negative of C0. C0 being, cash flow in year 0. And project has a life of n years. And generates cash flows of C1 through Cn. Okay? NPV is simple, and R is the risk-adjusted discount rate, or required rate of return commensurate with the riskiness of the project. So we're going to act as if these are given to you. In chapter 9, we're going to learn how to figure out what those cash flows should be. And in chapters 11 and 12, we're going to figure out what that R should be. But for now, they're given. So given all of those, NPV is defined as, I don't think that's bright enough. Let's see. Okay, that's better. Is defined as, I'm going to do that in white. Let's see. C1 divided by 1 plus R. C2, 1 plus R squared. plus C0. Okay. Remember, C0 is cash flow from negative of the cost of project or year zero cash flow. I'm going to rewrite this as PV1 plus PV2 where PVT is defined as cash flow in that year divided by 1 plus R raised to the power T. It's basically discounted present value of cash flow from that year. Hence the name net present value. You can think of this as present value of future cash flows minus cost of project. So if I use abbreviation, PVFCF minus COP. Again, that's not important. That's just going to help me write things fast. That's why I put those in there. And implementing this in Excel is not a problem at all. Let's get an Excel sheet going. Well, there are certain inputs. Cost of project, discount rate, life of project. These are in years. These are going to be all greens. I want to make them white font, bold, maybe a bit bigger. Why didn't this become green? Okay. So let's make that $30,000, just arbitrary number. Discount rate 10%. Where are you? Life of project 7 years. All right. For cash flows, I'm gonna do this up to 100 years. Actually, let me start from 0, I'm sorry. Well, year zero cash flow is simple, negative of the cost of project. That one is not an input, so let me make it purple. No, let me make it red, bold. Oh, dark red background, white font. Okay, that's good enough. The rest